Over to you, to Wordmaster Grammarian.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster of the Day, Toastmaster Shriya. Imagine somebody has prepared to deliver a great speech. The speaker has put up a great content. He or she has built up all the characters in the speech with a great storyline. But the grammar is not proper. What is going to happen? Despite having all the ingredients in the place, the essential ingredient, grammar, if it is not proper in the speech, we are going to lose the focus from the audience perspective. Having a good grammar is like having a cup of coffee. While coffee elevates your mood, the good grammar elevates your speech. So in this context, good morning everybody. My name is Shivacharan. I am playing a role of word master and grammarian for today's meeting. This particular role has two different sub roles. The first one is word master. As a word master, it is my duty to introduce the word of the day and idiom of the day. I have already shared the word of the day and idiom of the day in the WhatsApp group, but let me share my screen for the purpose of everybody. The word of the day for today's meeting is sabotage, which means damage or destroy something deliberately. Example usage is unnecessary filler words can sabotage the speech. The idiom of the day for today's meeting is walk in the park, which means something very easy to do. Toastmaster Gauri, kudos to you for already using the idiom of the day. Thank you for that. The usage example is the speech was a walk in the park because I prepared well for the speech. Whenever somebody uses the word of the day, show a single thumbs up as a sign of appreciation. Whenever somebody uses the idiom of the day, show double thumbs up as a sign of appreciation. Apart from the word master, I would also be playing the role of a grammarian, which means I will be noting down all the excellent usages during the meeting. Along with that, I will also be giving a couple of suggestions on the improper usages. With this, thank you very much. Looking forward for the meeting, and over to you, Toastmaster of the day.
Well, thank you so much, Toastmaster Shivacharan, for letting us know that vocabulary is heart of any language. Well, thank you so much for your brief introduction about your role. Now let's move on to the very first segment of today's meeting. Are you guys excited for today's first segment? Yes?
Yes.
Yes. Please put a thumbs up if you are excited for today's, for the first segment. Well, thank you so much. Now, so we have, what is the first segment? That the prepared speeches, right? So we have the first speaker, Toastmaster Saikat. But before that, we also have an evaluator for every speaker in the Toastmaster meeting, right? So now I'll introduce. Now let me welcome Toastmaster Sivacharan, evaluator 1, who will be evaluating Toastmaster Saikat, and I welcome Toastmaster Sivacharan for reading out the speech objectives of Toastmaster Saikat. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster of the day, and hello all again. This time wearing a hat of evaluator, and a special good morning to Toastmaster Saikat. So Toastmaster Saikat is attempting his first ever speech in Toastmasters, which is an icebreaker speech. The purpose of this project is for the member to introduce himself, herself, or herself to the club and learn the basic structure of a public speech. Timer, please note down the speech duration is 4 to 6 minutes. All the very best, Toastmaster Saikat, for your first speech. And thank you, and over to you, Toastmaster of the day.
Thank you, Toastmaster Sivacharan. Toastmaster Saikat, Quest Toastmasters, TM Saikat. Over to you, Toastmaster Saikat.
Thank you, Toastmaster of the day. Am I audible?
Yes, you are.
Yeah, just a correction. I think Quest Toastmasters is his Toastmasters Club. It's not the speech title.
Sorry, Quest Toastmasters.
Yeah, that is his club's name, not the speech title.
I'm so sorry. Please excuse me.
Please repeat along with the title. Then we can start with the timing. Okay?
Yeah. Would you mind telling me your title, Toastmaster Saikat?
The title is Metamorphosis.
Sorry. Okay. Toastmaster Saikat, Metamorphosis, Toastmaster Saikat. Thank you.
Thank you, Toastmaster of the day, and the fellow guests and Toastmasters who are present today. Metamorphosis, a heavy word for transformation. And oh boy, what a last couple of years it has been. Good morning, fellow Toastmasters and dear guests. This is Toastmaster Saikat from Quest, Qualcomm Hyderabad Toastmaster Club. Today, I want to share the journey of my metamorphosis. Growing up, like every 9 out of 10 Indian kid, I wanted to be a cricketer. Now, this was a time period back in early 2000s when the Indian team was in their golden era, and I still had the motivation left to wake up at 4 a.m. to watch sports, cricket or football. Except for school hours, I would be playing all around day, breaking window panes of neighbors' houses and later getting heavy scolding from my parents for the same. So one such neighbor once gifted me a cricket bat from Kashmir, and I used to love it so much that I would take it to bed with me. Seeing my passion for the game, when I was in third grade, my dad got me enrolled into a local cricket academy. And from then on, for about next 7 to 8 years, cricket became my everything. Day in, day night, I used to go practice, play, come back, and mm, that was pretty much it. And it was going really well. I was playing professional cricket, and I gave trials for a lot of state level competitions, got selected into state under 30, and but I never let cricket hamper my academics. It was also going well parallelly until it was the time to choose the career in class 10. So this was just before the boards, and we had to opt whether to take a science or whether to go for commerce or what do you want to do with your life. And I started thinking that, do I really want to make cricket my profession? And when I asked myself a couple of questions, I realized that although I like the game, I don't have so much of determination to give the hard work required to become a professional cricketer. And that's when I chose what probably every Indian kid does, engineering. कि पहले engineering कर लो फिर देखेंगे कि आगे क्या करना है. And so after class 10, I started preparing for the joint entrance examinations. Class 11th was a very instrumental year in my life. It was like it was a teenage years, and I was growing, and I was able to understand myself as a person, and I would take part in a lot of activities both in school, outside school, acads, friends, and all in all, class 11 was a very great year. But at the end of 11 and the beginning of 12, when there was a session break, and something very pivotal happened. So I got diagnosed with anxiety disorder and clinical depression. Now this came as a very huge shock for me, because for a person who used to be an athlete and fit with a healthy lifestyle, I never thought that something like this could happen. And it took me a few months to take in the gravity of the situation, visiting doctors, trying to figure out what the right treatment is, parents being concerned about me, and it was not a very proud moment for me. But somehow I could pull myself through that. And so, but that class 12 completely marred that entire school life, and it became like this black spot. So after class 12, uh, like eventually I did not do well in JEE in the first attempt, and I got enrolled in a local college, but something in me was not satisfied. I knew that, okay, I could do better, and I needed some extra push and motivation to do it. So one fine day, I decided that no, I'll drop out, and I'll reattempt the entrance exams, and I'll give it all I got and see what takes me from there. So I followed that against everyone's wishes, parents, relatives, everyone condemned me from not doing that because it would be a lot of pressure, but I did it. And fortunately for me, it turned out well. I got a very good rank, and got into NIT Trichy with BTech. And getting into NIT really shaped my life from then on. The next 2.5 years that followed, I met so many people from all parts of India, and even people from abroad. There were friends from US, Africa, South America, and I got to learn a lot about different cultures, work in different team settings, and push through hard times. So in my third year, when we were trying to figure out what to do next, whether to go for hires or whether to go for an industrial job, I met this professor who was teaching us a course called digital signal processing, and I liked that course. So I went up to the professor and told him that I would like to work with him on any research project. And that's how a very important phase of my college life began. I started my research career, and I used to be so engrossed. I would spend like 10 12 hours in the lab just after the classes, and that was a very fulfilling time for me personally. But then COVID happened in March, and once again my plans changed. And for a few days it was like, okay, what do I do next? Life came to a standstill. But I spoke to a few friends, and they were like, okay, this is not happening, so you go for job. And so that's how I sat for a couple of interviews, and luckily within the first week I could clear Qualcomm's interview, and that's how I got into Qualcomm. So from there, like by the end of 2020, life got pretty bored and I lost my fitness and everything. So I was like, why not try do something different? So that's when I embarked on my first solo trip and trek with a completely unknown group of people. And at first it was really scary, but then by the end of the trek, and this was a complete high altitude trek, so by the end of the trek I had met like new friends, and it was once again a very life-changing experience, because whilst in the trek I got to spend around 4 hours at the top of a mountain all by myself, and to just soak in the atmosphere, the calmness from there was something that I can't express into words. So after that, uh, back in July 2021, I decided to shift to Hyderabad, because once again I felt that I was getting back into my comfort zone, and I shifted here, and I met people and I joined Quest, and I was like, okay, I'll give Toastmasters a try and see how, if I can improve my speaking skills, because I've always wanted to do that. And yeah, that's pretty much been it till now. And over this course of this year, I want to delve more into understanding myself and push my boundaries and improve myself, and that's my goal for 2022. Thank you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Saikat. That was a wonderful speech. Now I'll call upon Toastmaster Ranjani, who is an evaluator for Toastmaster Shravya, to read out the speech objectives of Toastmaster Shravya's speech. Over to you, Toastmaster Ranjani.
Good morning, fellow Toastmasters and all the guests present here today. I will be evaluating Toastmaster Shravya today. Toastmaster Shravya has taken up the project of presentation mastery, and she's currently at L1 P2. The purpose of this project is to give a speech of any topic, to receive feedback and apply that feedback to her second speech. And the time limit for this speech would be 5 to 7 minutes. All the best, Toastmaster Shravya.
Thank you, Toastmaster Ranjani. Now, Toastmaster Shravya, power of self-confidence. Power of self-confidence, Toastmaster Shravya. Over to you, Toastmaster.
Just a second. It's actually not sitting in there. Okay. Am I audible?
Yes, you are audible.
Yeah. Am I visible too, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Last moment, just don't start now. Just a second. My laptop failed and I used to start in the phone, so it take bit of time. Okay, sorry for this. Good morning, my dear fellow Toastmasters and guests. Today, my topic is about power of self-confidence. Whenever I speak about self-confidence, I used to hear more about, I have a couple of people will say that I have overconfidence. So I would like to ask the same question, that what, according to you, what is meant by self-confidence and overconfidence? Any one of you, please? Can anyone tell me what is self and what is overconfidence?
Self is practical.
Okay. Over.
Power is beyond self. Beyond
Sorry.
self. Beyond self.
Overconfidence is impractical and it is without a basis. For confidence should have a basis like knowledge, or you have clarity of thought before being confident.
Yeah, thank you.
Unlike a child who
Yes.
who is confident to jump into fire like that.
Thank you, Toastmaster Rachna. I do agree with you, and thank you everyone who have responded to me. And when I returned from Kerala, I started searching for a job. While searching, I came across a school named Belvedere, which is very big international school in my hometown. Every teacher's wish in my hometown is to join and work there, as well as I am to one of them. When I entered the school, I gave my resume to the receptionist and back to my home. I made a call to few of my friends and said, okay, I gave the resume and I am happy to see, I am happy to be a part. I think if I'm wrong, if I get the job, I will be there. I just shared my few of my happiness, or else I gave the resume. I explained everything. Everyone said, all the friends, not only one or two, everyone said me the same thing. Don't imagine that you will be there. Why? Because it is very highly impossible for a person who is well experienced. It is very tough school to join, and don't be more excited. When they said like that, I was a bit disappointed. Why these friends are like this? They are being for me to be motivated, but they are always like pulling me down. Okay, let them leave. I just kept them aside. The immediate next day, I got a call from Belvedere. The receptionist made a call and said to attend the interview. Later, immediately, I made a call to my friends. I said, hey, see, you said I won't even get a chance, but they are calling me. And they said, okay, don't be overexcited. Be prepared. You will be disappointed by the end of the day. Make your mind to be said that you will be disappointed. Make sure of that and go. Okay, well, I took their suggestions and all. I entered the school. When I'm entering the school, I was like, it's very hard for me to explain that with all mixed feelings. Like I was very happy. I was full of fear, worried, and what will happen. I have all the things in my mind. I was like in mixed feelings. Okay. I entered the school and the receptionist led me to the principal room. The receptionist made me to move to the principal room. As I went to the principal room, I saw two women who's sitting in the sitting in the cabin. The one who is sitting in the main chair is the principal, and the other lady, I don't know. She didn't introduce me to her. So I gave my resume to her. After seeing my resume, the principal, she just saw my resume completely, and she said, how do you think you can get this job? The first question the principal asked, how do you think you can get this job? With this less experience, I'm just 5 months experience by that time. I'm to the principal. I'm telling the principal, well, I'm a fresher with no experience. Everyone wants the experienced persons, but no one are ready to give the freshers. How could be a fresher be experienced without getting a job? Then the principal, why should I hire you? Only you and me. Okay, if because I am a fresher with less experience, with full energy, with full innovative thoughts, and with good ideas in engaging students and making a creative thoughts. And the other lady who was sitting there, why only you? And me like, because I don't want Belvedere International to lose the best teachers. The next lady, why only you? Why only Belvedere? She asked. Then I was like, why? Who said only Belvedere? Belvedere is one of the opportunity in my hand. I have plenty of schools ahead. Yours is one of them. And the other lady like, you're thinking you have self-confidence, but you are speaking more than self. You have overconfidence, don't you? And I was like, just a smile and said, well, I have self-confidence, but not over. Why? Because as I said before, I have plenty of schools. If not your school, I'll get job in any other school. Then the principal immediately, okay, firstly, let me give you two topics and give the demo for half an hour. I'll give you time for half an hour. Prepare yourself for two lessons and give the demo. If you are not speaking up to 30 minutes, means if you are not taking 30 minutes engage students, if you are not going to give engage students for 30 minutes, at least 30 minutes, you don't need to come to my cabin. You can directly go out. And I was like, okay, it is a great challenge for me. I was like, yeah, okay, give me the topics, ma'am, I'll prepare. She gave me the topics, two topics, and gave me half an hour. Immediately, exactly after half an hour, she invited me to the room. When I entered the room, I saw 30 students who are mysterious, just like a monkeys. They don't even scare of principal too. They are such a kind of naughty students. In that room, I saw 30 students. Along the students, two women. The one is the principal, and the other, as I said, I don't know. She didn't introduce me to her. Everyone, I started by saying, I just kept the heading on the board and I started, hello, hi. Not at all. Even one child is not responding to me. They are like, so what? Their looks, their behavior, oh my God, that is very dangerous. And by the end, I just gave the speech for one and a half hour. And I gave the speech for 1.5 hours. Later, the principal introduces me to the other lady, and the other lady said that I'm in the school. Today, by this incident, I'm going to tell you that first start believing yourself. Then you can, first, if you start believing in yourself, then the magic will start happening. This is my L1P2 speech about self-confidence. Thank you for giving me this opportunity.
Thank you, Toastmaster Shravya. Now I'll call upon Evaluator 3, Toastmaster Niharika, to read out the speech objectives of Toastmaster Saransh. Over to you, Toastmaster Niharika.
Thank you, Toastmaster Shreya, for calling upon me. Today, Toastmaster Saransh is attempting his L1P2 speech from the Pathway Strategic Relationship. The purpose would be for him to understand writing a well-structured speech. It should be written with a purpose and should be well delivered as well. Wishing you all the best. Over to you, team of the day.
Thank you, Toastmaster Niharika. Toastmaster Saransh, tea and unspoken religion. Tea and unspoken religion, Toastmaster Saransh. Over to you, Toastmaster Saransh.
Thank you. Am I audible?
Yeah, you're clearly audible and visible.
Yeah. Thank you, TMOD, for introducing me. A very good morning to all my fellow Toastmasters and all the dear guests. So let me start off by putting a riddle in front of you. What is the one thing that can unite more than 100 crore people, that can change the fortune of a person, and it also comes in more than 3,000 varieties? Hint, the answer is in my speech title. Anyone?
Tea.
That's right. Thank you. So it's the humble tea, or chai as we call it in India. Now, many people do not acknowledge the fact that tea has the power to unite more people than our favorite sport, cricket, or your favorite political party. It is a religion in itself. A cup of tea can be the force to bring together people of different cultures and ethnicities. There are no barriers when it comes to tea. Like my 7-year-old, my 12-year-old nephew and my 70-year-old grandmother, they both share about how their day went, over by sipping a cup of masala chai. A successful business tycoon as well as a daily wage laborer, they both stop at the same tea stall for a quick cup before heading home. Me and my friends, all from different religions, we all get together and discuss how that the tea leaf should have been boiled a little bit longer. irrespective of our backgrounds. And that is why I really think that tea is a symbol of equality and opportunity. I have personally experienced the power that tea has to help us build meaningful relationships and long lasting friendships. I remember this time during my engineering days when me and my friends we got so overwhelmed with these boring thermodynamics classes that we decided to bunk the next one. So we silently crept out of the class and gathered at our favorite tea point outside of the college. To my surprise, I found a lot of my classmates already present there. Now, although I did not interact with them much during the classes, but it was here that we were able to, get together and share a laugh over us while sipping tea. So from then on, my friend circle expanded, and sharing that 1 by 2 chai with my friends that became a bonding agent for us, uh, and developing new friendships and creating memories that I would cherish forever became a walk in the park. So now you must be thinking that wow, he must be a real tea enthusiast. Well, I would like to point out here that I'm actually more of a coffee person. And yes, you must see the faces of my family members when I say this out loud at home. They are like, where did you come from? Or are you not patriotic? So my family is the one you can typically call the tea lovers. Uh, we've had long debates and discussions over why tea is better over coffee, and they have left no stone unturned to convert me into a tea person. But I've realized that this behavior is not only typical to my family, but it is prevalent everywhere else in India. uh, you know, people sort of see you as their own when you share similar interests and treat you differently if you don't. So, believe me, I have experienced this everywhere I went. Uh, you must have at some point gone to a bank and witnessed a couple of employees gathered together sipping tea and discussing the daily events. So when I first joined State Bank of India and reported to my branch and asked for a cup of coffee, everyone looked at me and they were like they raised their eyebrows. So I was thinking, what have I done wrong? And so my branch manager called me in and he told me that look, Saransh, if you want to grow in the bank, you need to learn to have more tea. So soon I realized that this was not a joke, and whenever I was dealing with customers, it was customary to offer them a cup of tea, and so then most of the customers sort of expected it, but some of them even asked for it. So this became more of a tradition rather than a necessity. This one time I was dealing with an NRI customer and I offered him a cup of ginger tea. So we spoke for some time until the tea arrived. And so as soon as he had his first sip, he smiled and he told me that, sir, I would love to do business with your branch just because you have given me such a delicious and flavorful tea. So now I realized how tea can help me give opportunities, even in the workplace as well. Not to mention all the success stories that revolve around tea, and like say Chayos, the tea chain, or MBA Chai Wala, or Chai Sutta Bar. All of these revolve around the potential that tea has to change and impact our lives. So all these experiences have made me realize that in India, tea is not just a beverage. It is it is more than that. It is a emotion. It is a feeling, and it is an unspoken religion. That's all from me. Thank you, and have an extra cup of tea today. Thank you.
That's a nice speech, Toastmaster Saransh. Well, now I have evaluated for Toastmaster Rajiv to read out the speech objectives of Toastmaster Raviteja. Over to you, Toastmaster Rajiv.
Yeah, thank you, Toastmaster. Yeah, so Speaker Toastmaster Raviteja is attempting his L2 P1 speech, and the purpose of the project is for the member to identify his primary leadership style. At the same time, share some of his primary leadership style and discuss the leadership styles in general. So, and timer, please note the time limit is from 5 to 7 minutes. All the best, Toastmaster Raviteja.
Thank you, Toastmaster Rajiv. Now, Toastmaster Raviteja, adapt to evolve. Adapt to evolve, Toastmaster Raviteja. Over to you, Toastmaster Raviteja.
Yeah, am I audible?
Yeah, you're audible.
Okay. I would like to ask a question to you all. Do you remember the Nokia 1100 phone? Anyone who remembers the Nokia 1100 phone, or the latest model released by Nokia, or famously called the Dabba phone? Please raise your hand. Thank you. Once upon a time, a pioneer in the mobile market, and now in the smartphone era, it is even harder to retrieve the latest model released by Nokia. And what has led to such drastic change in our preference? Or did you know, once upon a time, Yahoo refused to buy Google at just 1 billion valuation. And at a point of time, even Facebook too. And certainly, they never got a chance. With the passage of time, they never got a chance to buy Google and Facebook again. Now, interestingly, Google has reached a whopping 2 trillion valuation. What are your observations here? What made Nokia drive out of the market, and what made Yahoo miss the opportunities and eventually led to closure of business recently? I think it is leaders at the top of the organization and innovative style of leadership play a vital role in shaping the future of the organization. Moving further, let us dive into our today's discussion of different types of leadership styles. Good morning, fellow Toastmasters and dear guests. I'm Toastmaster Ravi, presenting the L2P1 about Adapt to Evolve. And as discussed above, there are different styles of leadership, such as democratic, authoritative, bureaucratic, and pace setting. And out of the different styles, now we will look after a style which I would like to prefer to talk today, that is innovative leadership style. So innovative leadership style. Innovative is a style of leadership that involves applying innovation and creativity to managing people and projects. Innovative leaders often inspire productivity in new ways and through different approaches that have typically been used and taken. The ability to apply innovation is especially important in times of uncertainty, ambiguity, and risk. So companies and industries that often encounter such situations can benefit from bringing on innovation and creative leaders. For example, we'll look into an example of IBM and Apple. As you may all know, IBM was once upon a time the pioneer of manufacturing the personal computers. Though Apple, led by Steve Jobs, have inspired the design, it has been very successful in providing additional features to their customers, and thereby Apple has bet IBM very soon after it has started launching its personal computer. And coming to food, we look into the example of Ramki Bandi. Dosa can be made by anyone else, but in different styles, such as pizza, Szechuan dosa, and by innovating different styles of dosa, it has created his own brand value. That is Ramki Bandi now, which is almost 12 outlets in Hyderabad today. And moving further, we'll have a look at the skills of innovative leaders. Skills. The first thing is willingness to embrace opportunities. The skills, that most skill is we have to embrace the opportunities. The opportunities may be infinite, but we should be in a position to capture it. And next, empathy. Empathy is as much as important because we have to know the public pulse, that is how the market is flowing. Thereby, we can grasp the market and we could think of innovation. And creative brainstorming. I think I don't need to explain that. And efficiency. Efficiency is all about how we perform, how we get into the innovation and thereby moving forward. A skill is not a work in the park. It is said because we have to update ourselves constantly. And with the constant update of our knowledge, only we can move forward in this very dynamic market today. And how to moving further, we'll look into how to become an innovative leader. Be willing. The first thing we look after is be willing to keep learning. I would like to quote by saying, "Comfort can sabotage your process." That is, if you are comfort at what a situation you are in, we couldn't grow. So we should work upon ourselves, and we should be keep willing to learn. Next, study innovative leaders. We have n number of books in the market to study about the different types of innovative leaders, right from the industrial era, right from the digital era, where we can read their mindset and thereby we can also adopt the mindset. And finding your passion. One should require passion to grow, and then there comes the will to invent an innovation or the new thing. Next, be persistent. No matter what, we should try again and again until we succeed, as said by many scholars. And I would like to quote here, that is 1% inspiration and 99% perspiration is what makes you a genius. And I strongly believe in that. Next, moving further, I would like to conclude by quoting a line by great personalities about being an innovative leader, that is, adapt to evolve. Thank you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Ravi. Now, we have Toastmaster Siddhaya, who is going to read the speech objectives of Toastmaster Archana. Over to you, Toastmaster Siddhaya.
Good morning, fellow Toastmasters and my dear guests. The last speech for today is given by Archana, and she is attempting as her L4P1. The purpose of the project is for the member to practice the skill needed to address audience challenges when she presents outside the Toastmasters Club. All the audience, for the next 10 to 15 minutes, whatever disturbance comes, please do not interfere in between. It is a process of the particular speech. So the timer, please note the total time is 10 to 15 minutes, and all the best, Archana.
Thank you, Toastmaster Siddhaya. Toastmaster Archana, pay less, buy more. Pay less, buy more. Toastmaster Archana. Over to you, Toastmaster Archana.
Thank you, Toastmaster of the day. Good morning, all the Toastmasters and honored guests. Can anyone of you sell me this pen? Anyone? Please raise your hands if you can, for 100 rupees or for 1,000 rupees. Great. Great to know. Okay. I was at a job interview yesterday where The interviewer handed me a laptop and said, I want you to try to sell this to me. So I put this under my arm and left the building and went home. Eventually, he called me and said, where are you, man? Bring my laptop back right now. I replied him, pay me 60,000 rupees and it will be yours.
Title చూసావా కరోనా వచ్చిందా చచ్చామే
Please be muted and thank you. Okay. How many of you know this joke? Please raise your hands. Okay, great. You will know why I reminded all of you this joke now as we go forward. Firstly, how many of you know that 11% of people globally employed today are only in the sales? And the exciting part is 89% of people who are not specifically into the sales, but when researchers looked closer, they found that
what is this sales and how do you know the statistics? Tell me, what sale are the people doing? How do you know 11%? Did BBC News tell, or did CNN News tell, or NDTV News tell, or Aztec News tell? What sales? Tell me. What is you have to be particular in sales selling? See, for me, sales means selling products. So where this 11% came? In my class of 10 people, 8, 10, 9 are in sales. That is 99%. So where is this figure matching? Tell me, madam, I'm confused.
99% are into sales. If you consider even your cook, even your housemaid, or even your friends who are selling you their ideas, who are convincing you to do what they want you to do. But all that cannot be measured. So professional sales, as professionally, which can be recorded, and as per the research reports, research articles, it is 11%. And I agree with you, it is not 98% or 99. If you include everyone who is convincing you, is selling his idea or making you do what they want you to do, are all included, then all 100% of all of us are salespeople. Even now I am doing sales. Okay. So that's what I'm saying now. 89% or more than that numbers who are not into sales are also spend their time influencing other people to sell their ideas or sell their services. That's what I'm going to say. So please interrupt me after listening to me. So anyway, thank you so much for that wonderful question. By being interactive, the points will stay in the memory for a long time. Great, thank you. Okay. In general, many people don't know how to make a decision. So it is the seller's job to influence his customers to buy his product. So how do they influence? Tactics. They use tactics. They show us this unique skill of telling people to go to hell in such a way, in an obedient way, in a respectful way, in a convincing way that people ask for directions to go to the hell. Take, for example, some soft drinks, the soft drinks we have, Coke or any soft drink, all of us know how bad it is to our health. But we buy it.
Toastmaster Archana, I totally disagree with that. Soft drinks are very good. They taste very well and they give a relaxed feeling to all the people. I totally disagree with you on that.
Thank you for disagreeing, Rajiv. It is only by disagreeing we can have a healthy discussion so that we'll get into a point See, who is right is not important for truth seekers like you and me, like truth seekers like all of us. What is right is always more important than who is right. When disagreements and discussions lead to what is right, disagreeing is always welcome, and that is, I'm happy to address this. You are saying soft drinks are good. I agree with you. They are good because they give you reward. They give you that dopamine high, that happiness hormone. But they are bad in the long term because they affect negatively. They have chemicals in it. They have preservatives in it. So hope it is clear now. I'm continuing with my point. So soft drinks are bad to our health, but we buy it by getting influenced by the momentary rewards. Those momentary rewards, short-term happiness, is what making you or many people like us believe that soft drinks are good. But what is long-term? We should have a vision. Vision, especially Secunderabad Toastmasters leaders, we are practicing to have vision, long-term vision. So it is bad in the long term. What is bad in the long term is also bad for the short term. So we don't need it. And I'm selling you this idea now. So sales is not only about products and services, it is also selling ideas. So there are many ways by which sales people...
Ashna, I also have an opinion to make, I know sales is all about selling the product, but you said tactics, no? Then what if the customer is not convinced? How does the customer know that this is the right product that you're selling or not?
Yeah, exactly. I have the same.
I mean, how do I know what you're selling is correct or wrong? What if you mislead me someday?
That's a great question, Ranjini. That's a great question, Rajiv. Most of the times we are misguided because by being misguided, they are getting profit. They are getting profit at less cost. Their profit is important. So most of the times it happens. And for that, they use tactics. See, to say something's right, we don't need tactics. And can you repeat the question?
Yeah, I asked what if somebody is selling me and is, misguiding me there at that time. And I am not aware that that person is misguiding me.
Yes, that's what. Majority of them misguide. That is the reason we need to know what kind of tactics sales people use, like low ball technique, foot in the door technique, or all these techniques which I'm going to discuss now is about this. Misguiding how see, when you know what strategy somebody is using on you, you won't fall for it. The fish goes to the net, fishing net, because it don't know where it is going. When we are aware and when we have clarity, we won't fall for it. So that's the reason today we are going to discuss about it. Thank you for this question. And from the question is from the side of customer, what if they are misguiding? And another question you asked, that is what I wanted you to repeat. The another question is, what if customer is very tough and we cannot convince him? It is from the side of salesperson. Now I recollected your question. It is from the side of salesperson. From his side, he should not waste much time on one customer. There is something called law of large numbers. Law of large numbers, like take a dice, and when you do that dice, the probability of getting a 6 number increases with more number of times you do it. You are only doing it 5 times, you will get 6 number maybe only once. If you are doing it 20 times, the probability is more. 100 times, more number of times you will get the 6 number result what you wanted. So the law of large number says, don't waste your time on one customer to convince only that person. The market is vast. So if you cannot convince that customer, let him go. The best thing is to focus on the large market. And that is what all the sales people do. So to make us dance to their tunes by using these strategies. So let's now discuss about what strategies we have. Thanks for this wonderful question. So, if the only thing a salesperson has is shit, he knows how to turn it into fertilizer and sell fertilizer to us. Let me tell you now how they influence you to make you do what they want you to do, while making you feel it was your own independent choice. In 1975, a marketing psychologist named Cialdini conducted a study in which the participants were asked to volunteer time for one public cause. Some were asked to give huge amount of time. When they refused, immediately the researchers request them to give a much smaller commitment of time. Some other participants were asked to give a smaller amount of time, whereas a third group, the third research group, third sample was given a choice between the two. The results revealed that in the small request only condition, only 17% of participants showed the desired behavior, what the salesman wants. However, after turning down in a large request, 50% of participants gave a positive response of yes. So here you can understand that the one who wants to sell you his product or service deliberately, intentionally, that's what you were asking the question, misguiding, deliberately puts a large unreasonable request, and then when customer refuses that, he scales down to a smaller reasonable request. And can you guess the result of this trick? Maximum people will say yes to the smaller request, the one which is actually the man's real target. He intentionally asks a he intentionally says a higher price so that the next thing he says will appear reasonable for you. This is using tactics to, it's not always misguiding, but to convincing skills. The one he wanted your yes is for this smaller second request only. Then second tactic, people use another technique to influence you when you say no to their offer, that is foot in the door technique. Here, initially they make a small request, and once the person agrees to this small request, they find it more difficult to refuse a bigger request. So the trick here is to get big favor from you. They start with asking smaller first. Example, you might have seen people in recent times asking you to join their free webinars. Why do they do that? It is because of the general human tendency to feel involved after having some level of interaction. So when people listen to such free sessions, there is more possibility that they will later buy the paid session too. Do you know low ball technique? Here the customer is asked to agree to something on the basis of incomplete information, incomplete, and is later told the entire story. Yet the customer buys it because previously he said okay to the offer. He wants to be consistent. This is third technique they use to, in your words, to misguide and for him to get the profit he wants. And that product can be a genuine product also. This is only a tactic used to make you buy to the rate he wants you to buy. For example, a car salesperson offers a shopper a car at a $6,000 price, which the person agrees. And two of them go to the head of the office to complete the payment, to complete the sales. There, the salesman tells the buyer that their colleague priced the car in error. In fact, the correct price should be $7,000. The customer then agrees to complete the sale even at higher price. Many say the future of sales is less manual, more automated. Still, I don't believe it, because only a human who can having abilities to analyze the circumstances can use such tactics, right tactic at right time. So this is something robots cannot do. I want to end my speech with just one suggestion. From now on, Whenever, wherever you see big sales, big buys, observe what technique they are using before tasting their rainbow or thunder. Let none sabotage you so that you can make life a walk in the park. Thank you. Back to you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Archana. Well, I could see that it's such a lovely session. And now let's gear up for something very, very exciting segment in the Toastmasters, and where everybody is enjoyed and loved.
Shreya,
Yeah.
can we have the timer to ask, is everybody qualified? Because we can go for the poll
Sure.
for the best speaker.
Timer, can you please confirm if there are any disqualifications based on time?
I'll read out the time taken by each prepared speaker.
No, Toastmaster Gauri.
Disqualified. Yeah, I know. Like, if you want me to say that they have disqualified.
No, you can please send. You can send a direct message to Toastmaster Siddhaya. Whoever is disqualified, if there are any disqualifications.
Okay, I'll send the message. That will be easy. You
Yeah.
want me to read out? I'll read it out.
No, that can be done at the end of the meeting once we ask.
Done. I'll send it. I'll send it to him. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much. Is that okay, Toastmaster Siddhaya?
I think we need to have polls right now, right? So
Yeah. I asked her to send a message to Siddhaya, so it's.
No, you do one thing. Meanwhile, you continue with Raju. In the interest of time, can we continue so that
yes, we can continue. We can have polls later on.
Okay. Now let's get up to something very, very exciting. And for this, I would request everybody to switch on your videos if you can, so that it can be a little more interesting. And now I would like to call upon Table Topic Master Toastmaster Yashwant to continue with Table Topic segment. Over to you, Toastmaster Yashwant.
Yeah, thank you, Shreya, Toastmaster of the day. Today I'm going to play the role of Table Topic Master. So good morning, Toastmaster of the day and fellow Toastmaster and dear guest. Table topic help members to practice the art of improvisation and also help us to think on our feet. This help us develop 4 vital communication skills basically. First is listening, thinking, organizing, and delivering. The topic that I have prepared for you will hopefully help all of us become a better at improvisation. Since we at Toastmaster try and provide a speaking opportunity to maximum audience members, this session is not restricted to members alone. Despite, I will encourage all the guests to come forward and participate. Even I hope everyone gives this a suit. And after the guest completed, I request all the team members to participate, and I may randomly call the name also if they will not nominate by themselves. So I will request they need to nominate by themselves. So thank you. Over to Toastmaster of the day to show maybe the timer card, and after that we'll start.
Toastmaster Yashwant, I think you can start, and there'll be a parallel slideshow of the timer cards as the speaker starts.
Okay, thank you. So is my screen is visible to everyone? Is my screen is visible to everyone?
No, because the timer card is visible now.
Okay, okay. Okay, no issue. So please show the timer card. Maybe I will speak out the topic. So who is coming forward from the guest? Who is coming forward from the guest member?
Yeah, I want to try. This is Mohan.
Yeah, hi Mohan. Welcome and
Thank you.
nice you come up. So the topic is topic for you is, when was the last time you tried something new? When was the last time you tried something new?
Okay, I got the topic, and thank you so much for giving the topic, Mr. Yashwant. When was the last time I tried something new? The one thing. I'm so sorry. I hope I'm not wasting your time. So actually, last time, actually, I'm someone who is very passionate about cooking. Actually, usually, I prepare all the common recipes which we prepare at home. But since very long time, I wanted to, try one new recipe which I never tried before. That was like I think last week only I have tried doing it, and fortunately it came out very well. So yeah, that is something I have tried something new recently. Yeah, thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you, Mohan. I think you attempt very well. So now the topic is open for next guest. So who is coming forward? Please nominate yourself from the guest fraternity.
Hello?
Yeah. Yeah, I can listen.
So, first of all, thanks to all. I would like to talk about the recently I did changes. Basically, I am a Java developer and I want to switch on data science. So, I started to learn it because data science is a good demand in the current market. On the other hand, I took course from various online platforms like Great Learning, Simple Learning, as well as from YouTube side. And basically, I'm into Java background. I know very well about coding side, but my passion is I want to be an entrepreneur. Do that, I took decision to learn data science so that I can start my own business. The in conclusion, I want to be an entrepreneur. So after 6 months, I'm trying to job to get on data science, and also I'm spending at least 3-4 hours on daily basis to learn the new things from the data science. Currently, I'm in a good position to get job on data science so that I can migrate from my Java technology to data science. So probably within a month, I'm getting an opportunity on data science. Thanks to all giving an opportunity to me.
Yeah, thank you, Siva. So see, the rule is The next guest is coming, I think, Hatham. I could pronounce in correct way, Mr. Hatham. So, Mr. Hatham, I will give you the topic, and then you need to deliver on that topic. Yeah. So
Sure.
the topic for guest Hatham is, who do you sometimes compares yourself to? Who do you sometimes compare yourself to?
Okay,
Hatham.
thank you, table topic master. I mean, comparing is sometimes an issue for people to start with. So I usually don't compare myself to anybody, but I have a role model or person that I look forward to on certain things, like role model in my work, for example. I have somebody who I think has achieved certain things that I need to maybe compare to, or look forward in terms of competency that I have to gain, in terms of the skill set that I require. On the personal level, I look for another personal person, for example, from the family who has achieved personal things like property, business, and other things. But in general, I avoid comparison because it creates an issue where you get obsessed by comparing and achieving that, and it can be very dangerous if it's very obsessed. I mean, if it's very if it's went to the extreme level. So I usually avoid that. However, I have certain people that I look up, and I get, in fact, support from. Over to you, table topic master.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Hatham. Very good attempt, and very good, explanation on the topic. So the next topic we are going to give Ajita Maru, guest Ajita Maru. So the topic for Ajita Maru would be, what's the most sensible thing? What's the most sensible thing you have ever heard someone say? What's the most sensible thing you have ever heard someone say? Over to Ajita, guest Ajita.
Hello, everyone. I hope you can hear me well. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes. So my topic is, what's the most sensible thing I've ever heard anyone say? And on top of my head, I am not able to think of something, but I can maybe cluster a few ideas that I've heard over time. Some of the most common sayings are follow your passion. And this one rings true when we are struggling to figure out what we are trying to do in our life, or if we feel unmotivated. But the interesting part over here is, how does one find out what their true passion in life is? And it isn't an epiphany that you get over time, like in one moment. It takes a long time to figure out what you enjoy doing, what you don't enjoy doing. So I think this saying is easier said than done. But at the same time, once you figure out what you're truly interested in, it becomes a lot easier to figure out how can you move towards that goal. So I think this saying, which is follow your passion, is a well-known phrase used by a lot of people to inspire many people. But at the same time, it can be quite valuable. So this is probably one of the most sensible things I've heard someone say, if there is the right context behind it when you implement it. Thank you, and over to you, Toastmaster, Table Topics Master.
Yeah, thank you, guest Ajita. Thank you. Will said actually the eye contact is really very, very important. So considering the time, actually right now we have 12 and 28. So keeping in mind, I am moving the session to the next stage, and I'm handing over the session to table topic. Toastmaster of the day. Yeah. So over
Thank
to
you.
Toastmaster of the day.
Thank you, table topic master, Toastmaster Yashwant.
So TMOD, we have the poll for the speaker ready. So I'm launching the poll.
Yeah.
Yeah, just a
I
note
request
before
everybody to
just a note before the poll. I think so. We had few disqualifications, hence we could not qualify the other speakers. But the speakers who are qualified are being listed in the poll, and I request everyone to please to vote.
And I request the timer to mention if there are any disqualifications in the table topic speeches based on the time, and send a message to Silent Terms so that they can launch the poll.
Yes, I've received the votes for best speaker, and I'm ending the poll.
Yes. So timer, is there any disqualifications in table topics?
Yeah, no one disqualified.
Thank you. Then I'm launching the poll for the best table topic speaker.
Yeah, I request everyone to please do vote. Even the guests can vote for themselves as well. Yes, I have received enough votes, and I'm ending the poll. Over to you, Toastmaster of the day.
Well, thank you everybody for voting. And now, so I hope everybody enjoyed the table topic session. And now it's the last session for today's meeting, that is the evaluation segment. Well, so everybody must have heard, I think you all have heard that, and so yeah, this is evaluation is something very, very important segment, and I want to talk a few something related to evaluation before starting the segment. So when everybody comes and speaks, the evaluator can directly talk to them that you've done somewhere in the you could have improved in some places. But why do we have this evaluation segment as a separate segment, and why do we want everybody to speak, evaluate in front of everybody? Is that evaluation is not just for that one person who spoke on the stage, but evaluation is for everybody who is not a Toastmaster also, so that they can improve when they are speaking. Evaluation is for everybody who is in the meeting. They can be getting benefit from the evaluation of one person at least. So that is why evaluation segment is one of the very, very important segment, and without evaluation, failures are inevitable, right? So now let me start the evaluation segment by calling upon the first evaluator, that is Toastmaster Sivacharan, to evaluate Toastmaster Saikar. Over to you, Toastmaster Sivacharan.
Thank you, Toastmaster of the day, and welcome everybody for the evaluation segment. Metamorphosis. As soon as I heard about this speech title, that has taken me to my 12th days when I was a science student, and I suddenly remember the definition of metamorphosis as the transformation process from immature form to an adult form. So let us see how our target speaker, Toastmaster Saikar, has explained his metamorphosis and his transformation into the different stages of life. Before I begin my evaluation, let me first congratulate Toastmaster Saikar for stepping his first step into the art of public speaking. My evaluation is into three parts: the things that I liked in the speech, couple of areas of improvement, and the conclusion. Now coming to the things that I liked in the speech, I have basically liked 4 C's. The first C stands for connect with a story. Now, whenever we are giving a speech, the easy way to connect to the audience is using different stories. So in your particular speech, Toastmaster Saikat, you have connected to the audience by a lot of stories. First of all, you went straight away into the speech with a story of your cricket, your passion about cricket. And how did you grow as a cricketer, and how did you break the windows of your neighbors, and how did you get the scoldings from your parents, your journey towards cricket academy. So with this story, you were really able to connect with the audience. In the second part of the story, you have also talked a lot about your engineering days, wherein you had a lot of fun with your friends, and you get engrossed in the academics. So with these two stories, you were very well able to connect with the audience. The second thing that I liked in the speech is connect with emotions. There is also a lot of place for emotions in your speech. For example, when you talked about your anxiety disorder, about clinical depression, it has added a lot of emotional elements into the speech, and with this also you are able to connect with the audience. The third thing that I liked in the speech is the third C, which is connect with networking. If I see your speech as a whole, then you have also delivered icebreaker, but at the same time you have indicated the importance of networking. For example, when you talked about your journey at NIT Trichy, you have talked about how did you meet everybody and how did you understand different cultures. And then again, when you have talked about your trekking story with the friends, how did you make your new friends? So with this, you are also able to connect with the audience with the art of networking. The fourth C that I liked in the speech is the confidence. Throughout the speech, I never felt that this is your first speech. You're pretty confident. You maintain that smile on your face. You are very much relaxed, which is also an important quality for public speaker. Now, being an icebreaker speech, I only have two different recommendations. The first recommendation is the slowing down or giving the pauses. So at the beginning of your speech, for the initial 1 or 2 minutes, you are very fast in terms of your speech. Probably you can slow down at the beginning so that audience can understand what kind of aspects you are portraying in your speech. The second aspect, the improvement, is the connection with the title itself. So even though you have talked about metamorphosis, you could have correlated with the title at the end of the story in a summary statement that how did metamorphosis happen in your life, so that you are able to close the loop perfectly. So all in all, it was a great speech. I really liked the connect with the story, connect with the emotions, connect with the networking, confidence, and if you could have slowed down a little bit and then concluded with the correlation with your speech title, the speech would have been a perfect speech. All the very best for your future speeches, and over to the Toastmaster. Thank you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Sivacharan. And now I would like to call upon Toastmaster Ranjani for evaluating Toastmaster Shravya's speech. Over to you, Toastmaster Ranjani.
Thank you, Toastmaster Shravya. So I will be evaluating Toastmaster Shreya, and I will be evaluating Toastmaster Shravya today. So Toastmaster Shravya, I really like the topic of your speech, power of self-confidence. The title itself was something very interesting. So I'll be evaluating on 3 stages: what I like the most, what are the improvements, and how you can work upon it. So the first thing is you were really confident. Your body language was at par. Personally speaking, when I give a speech, although I am confident, body language is something I struggle with, and you did it really well. You were very comfortable. You were aware of the audience. There was this clarity of the speech. But what I liked the most in your speech was how you spoke about the interview and how your friends were giving you the suggestion about your interview for this Bellwether International School and how you cracked the interview. The story was really engaging. What I would suggest you for an improvement is that the story was just getting started, it was getting engaging, and then it abruptly ended somewhere. So I would suggest you to, add a little more points at the end of your speech, to sum it up saying this is how the confidence worked for me in my favor, and your story was really a walk in the park. It was something you did it very easily, flawlessly. I think you should have added that aspect more to your speech. And also, one other improvement I would suggest is, I understand you face some issues with your system, but just have a check once before you start your speech. And one more improvement aspect that I would suggest you with, you paused a little in between. So, there were some filler words. I would tell you to work upon that. But other than that, it was really a great speech and, really motivating, because I could relate with the interview sessions that you faced. So all the best, Shravya. It was a good one.
Thank you, Toastmaster Anjani. Now, I would like to call upon Toastmaster Niharika to evaluate Toastmaster Saransh's speech. Over to you, Toastmaster Niharika.
Thank you, Toastmaster Shreya, for calling upon me. And today, greetings to everyone and special greetings to Toastmaster Saransh. Tea is not just a beverage, but it is a feeling and unspoken religion. Toastmaster Saransh, I couldn't agree with you more, and I'm delighted to evaluate your speech today because I thoroughly enjoyed it. Today, I will be evaluating your speech on two aspects. Was it well written and was it well delivered? Starting with the first one is about the writing of the script. You started with a fun and engaging question, which beautifully placed the subject of your speech, which is tea, right in the front and center. And then you also used contrasts of people from different backgrounds and age groups, how they come together over a cup of tea, which also did a great job in showing us the symbol of tea which you are trying to convey. And then in the second half, you also told us how tea opens up opportunities, especially at workplace. Throughout your speech, you coupled all the contents with personal experiences as well, which were fun, relatable, and engaging. Also, there was a small twist in your speech where you told that, hey, you were actually a coffee person, which raised questions on your patriotism. Now there you also like in with such example, you also sprinkled your speech with bits of humor and which kept it fresh and upbeat. My suggestion here for the writing of your script would be that you could have given it a clear structure. One of an example for clear structure is that how I started my evaluation by telling that I will evaluate on two aspects, which is about the writing and the delivery, and the first one being writing. So what happens when you give a clear structure is that your audience would actually know where you're heading with your speech. So moving on to the second aspect, which is your speech delivery. Listening to your speech was truly a walk in the park today, a breath of fresh air. You were relaxed throughout your delivery, which you did with great confidence and with such ease. So your scope of improvement here on your delivery would be to add a little bit of body language, because the topic was very exciting. You could have done a lot, like sipping 1/2 cutting chai. This such small bits would truly bring your speech to the next level. All in all, it was a fun topic, great writing, great delivery. Small bits and pieces could definitely up your game. Thank you. Thank you for giving me the opportunity to evaluate.
Thank you, Niharika. And now let's move on to the next evaluator. Now I would like to call upon Toastmaster Rajiv to evaluate Toastmaster Raviteja's speech. Over to you, Toastmaster Rajiv.
Yeah, thank you, Toastmaster Shreya. So just to note through timer, I think, just a reminder, the evaluation is from 2 to 3 minutes. Yeah, thank you. And with that, so leadership is not an action. Leadership is an action, not a position. This quote very much resonates with today's speech with Toastmaster Raviteja. So fellow Toastmasters, guests, and my target speaker, Toastmaster Raviteja. So let me begin my evaluation with what I adore in this speech. So for starters, you started your speech by asking questions. So by asking questions, you immediately involve the audience, at the same time engage them into your speech. So kudos to that. And along with that, you also had a good analogy which connected back again and again to the theme. That is, you did that by giving real life examples such as IBM, Apple, at the same time Ramki Bandi, etc. and etc. So by giving these real life examples, you gave a taste of what your theme, that is leadership, looks like in the real world. So well done on that aspect. And coming to the next point, which I adore in your speech, and I believe everyone might admire, is the rich content which you brought onto the table. That is, it was very comprehensive. When you spoke about, what do I mean by that? I mean, when you spoke about the innovative leadership style, you spoke almost everything about it. That is ranging from skills, qualities, what is needed, along with you also sprinkled it with the help of coach which support your point. So I think you have done very well on that aspect. So as good as the speech gets, there's always a scope for improvement. And I would like to elevate your speech with the three particular recommendations from my side. So to start with, the first recommendation is that I felt the objectives were not exactly met in your speech. For example, I mean, the objectives mention that you should discuss about your primary leadership style, and at the same time discuss the other styles in general, even if for a brief time it's possible. However, in your speech, you only focused on the innovative leadership style, and there was no content for the others. Although you mentioned about the others leadership styles, but it would be more of greater interest for in the audience that you could have just given a one-line definition of the other leadership style, what exactly is, so that audience will get an idea of what the all the leadership styles exist in general and what yours is primarily. So this is the first recommendation. Now coming to the second recommendation is the anecdotes. So leadership is about what action you, as I mentioned at the start, is about the action what which you take. So by adding these anecdotes of personal stories of what action you have taken in your real life will could have connected more with the audience. By they could have gotten an idea that how you have implemented this theme and this theory of leadership, innovative leadership in your life. So I felt by doing so that was missing in your speech. So I think all in all, so to summarize your speech, you had a good analogy, and at the same time you had a rich content and it was very comprehensive. But coming to the recommendations, I felt the objectives were a little bit misplaced, and the personal touch of the anecdotes was also missing, and the call to action. And so with that, I hope when you work, if you work on these recommendations, you'll eventually improve as a speaker. So thank you. Over to you, General Toastmaster of the day.
Thank you, Toastmaster Rajiv. Now, I would like to welcome Toastmaster Siddhaya to evaluate Toastmaster Archana's speech. Over to you, Toastmaster Siddhaya.
Yeah, thank you. 1 second. It's not being spotlighted, so I would like to spotlight first. Raju, can you please spotlight me?
Yes, yes. Done.
Thank you. Converting shit into the fertilizer. That's a perfect speech today Archana delivered. And that is a perfect topic for your objective, which is handling the audience. Because when you have such a topic, it is very easy for somebody to ask a question and also to handle the audience. Kudos on that, Archana. Now, my evaluation will be in 3 segments: your good points, areas for improvement, and my conclusion. As this is the evaluation of the handling the audience, my focus will be more on how you handle the audience rather your topic, because your topic was walk on the path. Now, the good points. Your topic was very well distributed among all the 4 disturbers or the persons who asked the questions, and they have asked the right questions. And second, you have given a lot of data which brings credibility to your topic that you are giving. And at the same time, the people who have asked the questions are very much in sync with the topic that you have in there. And the examples that you have quoted also are of very much good in line with what the topic that you are delivering. These are absolutely perfect. Now, when it comes to the areas for improvement, 1, the 4th person who asked the question, you ask to repeat the question again. So the whole challenge of this particular segment, the topic is to understand the audience and give the right answer. Those who are disturbing you are to handle them properly. And going back asking that question for me has not gone well. And the second, when Vikram was asked about the percentage, you didn't acknowledge him in the beginning. Whoever is disturbing you, you have to be calm, first acknowledge them, and then start answering their question. And then when you're going back to your topic, there should be a transition between you answering your question and then going back to your topic. I would have used the stage to do that. I would have stood up and gave my speech, and then somebody asked a question. I would have changed my position or come a little closer to the screen and give my answers. And when I'm giving my topic, I would have gone back so that the user can understand what they are doing. And I mean, when you're talking or when you're answering the questions. And the third and is the time. The time is given for your speech is 5 to 7 minutes, and the entire speech is 10 to 15 minutes. But the time that is given to the answers and the questions was only 6 minutes. But your speech was gone beyond the time limit that is required. So having said this, I would purchase the sheet for the fertilizer, but you could have handled the audience even a little better. Back to you, Toastmaster.
Thank you, Toastmaster Sudhir. Now I would like to request timer if there are any disqualifications based on time to inform Toastmaster Sudhir so that we can have a poll.
Shall I message you, Toastmaster Siddhaya? Otherwise, shall I read it out?
Yeah, either way it is okay.
You can message.
I'll do that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Would you like me to wait for a moment till we finish the poll?
Yeah, I think in the interest of time, maybe let's move.
You can continue. Once I get the time, then we can have the poll in between.
Okay, sure. Well, so now we have finished all the 3 segments very successfully, and I would like to thank all the audience also who have been so patiently listening and also cooperating, everybody here. And yeah, now it's a time where we move on to the next evaluation part. That is, now that we're done with the evaluation of the speeches, now let's evaluate everybody in the meeting based on the time they've taken and also the grammatical mistake and the vocabulary they've used, right? So now I'll introduce. Now I would like to ask Word Master Grammarian Toastmaster Sivacharan to present his report.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster of the Day, Toastmaster Shriya. And I am here back again, this time as Word Master Grammarian. To give my report, let me share my screen. So these are the word of the day and idiom of the day. The word of the day is sabotage and idiom of the day is walk in the park. And when it comes to the usages, the word of the day sabotage has been used by Toastmaster Archana. Thank you, Archana, for using this word of the day. When it comes to idiom of the day, I'm really happy to see that the idiom of the day, walk in the park, has been used by many people. Toastmaster Gauri has used once, Toastmaster Ravi, Toastmaster Archana, Toastmaster Anjani, Toastmaster Niharika, and Toastmaster Siddhaya. Thank you so much for using the idiom of the day. Kudos to you. Now, when it comes to the excellent usages, you can see this particular slide. It is a busy slide. It has a lot of stuff embedded in it, which means that today we were together as a members of this particular club, as a speakers, as an evaluators, as a table topic speaker. We were really successful when it comes to the excellent usages. It will take a lot of time for me to go through all of this report, but let me highlight a couple of things. So Toastmaster Rajiv has used words like marathon of speeches, rich content, sprinkled with quotes. Toastmaster Saikat has a lot of vocabulary in the speech. A couple of things like he has used instrumental, pivotal, gravity of the situation. Toastmaster Shravya has used self-confidence, excited, and then pulling down. Toastmaster Saransh has used radar in front of you, acknowledge the fact, overwhelmed. Toastmaster Ravi again has a lot of vocabulary in the speech. Just a couple to explain. Pioneer, evaluation, whopping, creative brainstorming, empathy, be willing and keep learning, adapt to evolve. These are some of the excellent phrases that he has used. Toastmaster Rachana is again another walking vocabulary. She also has used agree to disagree, truth seekers, dopamine high, momentary rewards, a lot of usages. And when it comes to table topics, the table topic master Toastmaster Yashwant has used art of improvisation. Table topic speakers Toastmaster Shiva has used entrepreneur. Haitham has used experiment, look up to. Ajita has used easier said than done, and follow up your passion. Toastmaster Shriya has used failures are inevitable. Ranjani has used aware of audience, clarity of the speech. Niharika has used delighted and sprinkled speech with humor. And Toastmaster Siddhaya has used words like credibility and mincing. So as you can see, there is a lot of good vocabulary and there is a lot of cross learning in between the speakers. When it comes to area of improvements, they're like very minor in amount compared to the excellent usages. To participate in Toastmasters is not the correct usage. To participate in Toastmasters meeting is the correct usage. According to you, what do you mean by is not correct usage in the particular context? What is meant by the correct usage? Immediate next day, you need not use immediate. It is basically next day. Two women who is sitting is not correct. Two women who are sitting is the correct. Every 9 out of 10 kid is not correct. Every 9 out of 10 kids is correct. 30 minutes engaged students is not correct. Not engaging the students for 30 minutes. Such kind of naughty students is not correct. Such naughty students is correct. Very much in line can be replaced with they are in line. So these are a couple of improvements from the today's meeting. When it comes to a couple of suggestions from my side as a grammarian, use grammarly.com when you're writing your speeches. It has an automatic grammatical error correction facility. And also to improve your day-to-day language and also the grammar, read newspaper at least for 15 to 20 minutes a day and watch some news channels like BBC. That will definitely help you to improve in terms of your grammar. The last and most important thing is the word of the day and idiom of the day in Toastmasters meetings. How many of you remember the last meeting word of the day and idiom of the day? Can anybody unmute and tell? What is the last meeting word of the day? Okay, what is the last meeting idiom of the day? Sorry?
Passion and
Passion, correct?
And I actually used last week's idiom this time.
Yes, I have noted.
Accidentally. Right? Because
yes.
in my speech, I was trying to remember, but I couldn't recollect what the word of the day and the idiom of the day was.
Yes, Toastmaster Rajita, well done. You have used easier said than done, which is the idiom of the day in last meeting. So
Yes.
we not only should try to use the word of the day and idiom of the day in the present meeting, but keep a note of WOD and IOD from all the meetings so that you are improving your vocabulary. Thank you so much. This is my report and over to the Toastmaster.
Thank you, Toastmaster Sivacharan. That was an excellent report. And you had all the things that you have to have in your report. You had good usages, not good usages, and also you have tips so that every one of us could improve in our vocabulary or whatever. And now let's move on to the timer report. Toastmaster Gauri, over to you.
Yeah, I'm here with the report. For prepared speeches, Toastmasters Saikar took 7 minutes 51 seconds. Toastmaster Shravya 7 minutes 42 seconds. Toastmaster Saransh 6 minutes 37 seconds. Toastmaster Ravi Teja 6 minutes 37 seconds. Toastmaster Archana 15 minutes 45 seconds. And evaluation speeches, Toastmaster Shivacharan 3 minutes 32 seconds. Toastmaster Ranjini 1 minute 54 seconds. Toastmaster Niharika 3 minutes 9 seconds. Toastmaster Rajiv 3 minutes 12 seconds. And Toastmaster Siddhaya 3 minutes 13 seconds. Table topics: guest Mohan 1 minute 22 seconds. Guest Shiva 1 minute 46 seconds. Guest Haitam 1 minute 50 seconds. And Ajita Maru guest Ajita Maru 1 minute 30 seconds. Thank you. Over to you, Tio.
Thank you.
So can we have polls for best evaluator?
Yeah.
So I launched the poll. Please, everyone vote.
Yeah, the first evaluator is Toastmaster Sivacharan.
I think it's
Oh,
okay.
sorry.
I have slightly disqualified on time, so you can probably vote for next 4 evaluators. Ignore the first one.
Yeah, let's take 5 more seconds. I request everyone please to. Okay, I'm ending the poll. And do we have a next poll?
Yes, this next poll is also ready.
Yes, this polls is for the best role player, and I request everyone to please do. Please inform if anyone cannot see the polls pop up in your device. Yeah, let's take 5 more seconds to say. Okay. Yes, I've received enough votes for that as well. Over to Toastmaster of the day.
Well, thank you, Toastmaster Rajiv. Toastmaster Gauri, your report was very crisp and very, everybody could understand the report very easily. And I would suggest that if you would have given tips as a timer, that could be even more helpful so that everybody will understand where they've gone wrong and they could implement in their next coming speeches or next coming, meetings. So it would be great if you include tips and also include a time taken by everybody like sergeant at arms and presiding officer, everybody in the meeting, whoever spoke. So that's all with my report. And now, thank you so much for having me as a Toastmaster of the day for today. And also, I would like to hand over the stage back to Rajiv today. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Toastmaster Shreya, for hosting the meeting, today's meeting. And friends, fellow Toastmasters and guests, hope you had a great meeting today. So we had a marathon of speeches backed up with the evaluations, followed by the impromptu session, which I hope all the guests participated, enjoyed the session. So with that, I think we have come to the near end of the meeting, and it's time to hear from the guests about how they felt about the meeting as a whole, and if they have any suggestions to give us, they're free to. So let's start with the guest Haitham. So hi Haitham, how did you feel about the meeting as a whole? I think you're on mute.
Hi, yeah, hi. Just a second. Yeah, I mean, I've been, this is Haytham from Oman. I've been visiting few Toastmaster Club meetings, trying to explore what style and different educational pathways that they support. So, I mean, I like this session. I like the meeting, and definitely I'll have another visit to this meeting, to the club meetings.
Thank you, guest Haitham. It's great to hear that you enjoyed the meeting, and it's always good that we have members from other clubs and from other countries so that it brings diversity into our club. Yeah, so thank you, guest Haitham. And we also have guest Ajita. So how did you feel about the meeting?
It was a good meeting today. I enjoyed it.
Yeah, thank you, guest Ajita. And we also enjoyed your table topics as well. Thank you. And we can, moving on, we have guest Mohan. So hi, Mohan, how did you feel about the meeting?
Hi, actually, it was a wonderful meeting as always, and I really like the way the whole meeting, has been organized, and I'm really amazed to see how the prepared speeches have been delivered. They just came up and delivered the speeches just like a walk in the park. And I really liked the role of grammarian, the way he presented his detailed report. It is not that easy, to prepare such a detailed report when he's also handling other tasks parallelly. So I really liked that. And and all the speeches and TMOD role and everything was good. Thank you so much for having me here.
Yeah, thank you, Guest Mohan, and it's great to hear that you enjoyed the prepared speeches and the grammarian. And yeah, there's always learning from each and every meeting. We learn and grow as an individual. Thank you. And we also have guest Shiva. So hi, Shiva, how did you feel about the meeting?
Hi Rajiv, it was pretty good to me, and I enjoyed a lot today as compared to the old one. Thanks a lot once again to you.
Yeah, thank you, Shiva. And definitely, I think this time all the guests actively participate in table topics, and we all thoroughly enjoyed your session as well. So it's great to see that everyone is improving as the meetings are going on. So thank you. And also we also have guest Muthu who has joined. So hi Muthu, how did you feel about the meeting?
Yeah, overall, I think this was well organized and well executed. I think I spent these 2 hours really very effectively, and it was very useful for me to learn different parts of speech delivery and all. and it was good. Looking forward to be participate in the upcoming sessions.
Thank you, Geshmutu. Even we look forward to you in future meetings. And we can
thank you.
also, now moving on, we have guest Farooq, who has joined in the middle of the meeting. But yes, how was your experience so far, Farooq? I think you're on mute. Okay, no problem. I think moving on, we have also had guest Manasa who had joined. So hi Manasa, how did you feel about the meeting? Okay, I think maybe either you're on mute or there's some issue on your end. Okay, no problem. I think in case anyone else have any suggestions for for us as a club, you can definitely contact us. Or at the same time, I've pasted the guest form in the chat box so that you can type in your responses there, and we can connect with you at the same time. Get in touch for any details about the membership and registration. So thank you. And with that, I think it's time to release the results of the polls conducted so far. So starting with the best role player. So between grammarian, timer, and Toastmaster of the day, best role player goes to Toastmaster Sivcharan for playing the role of grammarian. Congratulations, Toastmaster Sivcharan. So now the best table topic speaker goes to guest Ajita. So congratulations, guest Ajita.
And she won continuously in the 2 meetings.
Yeah, it's great to see the guest winning the table topic. It's a great sign. So I kudos to all the guests for taking the first step for coming onto the stage and speaking on the random topic. So congratulations to all the guests. And moving on to the best evaluator. Best evaluator goes to Toastmaster Niharika. So for evaluating Toastmaster Sharan's speech. So congratulations, Toastmaster Niharika. Yeah, and the best speaker goes to any guesses? The best speaker for in this marathon, speakathon. Okay, so the best speaker goes to Toastmaster Saransh. So congratulations, Toastmaster Saransh, for your speech on tea and unspoken religion. So thank you. And with that, I think we have come to the end of the meeting. I hope you all have enjoyed the meeting as a whole. And next we'll be convening on the 6th of February at the same time, 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. And we all hope you join us at that time as well. And with that, I hand over the stage to Toastmaster Sadhya to give the closing remarks.
Thank you, Rajiv. And it was a very nice meeting today. 5 speeches, 5 evaluations, and almost 5 table topics. So with that, hope everybody enjoyed the speakathon. So this is how almost most of the meetings for next at least a month, because we are approaching towards the contest. So hope everybody enjoyed, and we love to see you all in the next meeting as well. With that, the 297th meeting of Secunderabad Toastmasters is over, and the meeting is adjourned.